God, ain't I better looking than Sheena? God bless you.
I concede to that. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It is a good and glorious thing to be with the people in the city, in the heartland of our nation. And I want tonight to thank those of you who have come out to listen. We have come here because we believe we have a duty. And I want to start by thanking all who on our team this week made Barbadians realize that they have a choice. And they have a choice from a team who stood focused on the issues that matter to you and not to the abuse and the abusing that you heard coming from the government side day after day after day. But you will also allow me, from my heart, to thank those who spoke tonight so well on this platform. You know, when you see first-time MPs mature and blossom, like how you saw first and foremost Eddie Hinkson, Santia Bradshaw, Dwight Sutherland, and my boy Jeffrey Bostic, you know that the Labour Party has a bright future to be able to represent the people of this country. And when you see that we have come here to the city, Trevor told you symbolically what this site and this area means. I don't need to repeat that. And I want to say to the vendors who are here, we haven't come here by accident either, because you have been facing a ghost town many a night down here and can't get your food sold, your drink sold. And I know because I come down almost every week, and I spend time with you and I hear your stories. So when you hear Santi tonight talk about the vendors, it is not something that we are making up. So we are here to speak to you and to speak truth to power tonight. And you know, when these estimates started, part of me believed that we were going to be in for a real debate that mattered to the people of this country. A real debate that could have allowed us in the 50th year of our nation to confront issues that matter to you. But I come here tonight a very depressed lady. A depressed lady who, after 27 years in political life, saw a display in Parliament this week that was as callous and as removed and as distant from what Barbadians experience on a day-to-day basis. We didn't talk to your satisfaction or our satisfaction this week about the issues that matter. We didn't talk about the fact that we have a sugar industry where the crop started 2 weeks ago. And within a few days of starting, 2 days, the machinery break down. And the cane just continued to pile up and pile up and pile up. And they didn't even take the cane from the bottom. So you know what would happen to that cane at the bottom after days and days of heat. And when they got it started again, the factory break down again. In 10 days, you have not even had 3 days of grinding. We didn't talk about the fact that for all the talk about tourism numbers increasing, the jobs ain't coming and the money ain't coming to our people. We didn't talk about the fact that next month, many of the people who have to pay taxes in this country, when they go to file their taxes, and Clyde Maskell warned you at Tyrrell Court last year when they took it away, $60 million taken away from 62,000 people. You didn't hear the government talk about how it would help people make the adjustment to the loss of income that they're going to lose from not having those allowances. We didn't talk about the fact about what $400 million more in debt would do to you because of CLICO and British American on a debt that is already among the highest, if not the highest in the region, higher than Jamaica. That is the Barbados in the 50th year of its nationhood. And where did that $400 million come from? A prime minister, one that is gone, who institutionalized corruption in the Democratic Labour Party as prime minister of this country. And I say so tonight without fear of contradiction. Because when a prime minister can act unlawfully as a prime minister and take a check for $3.3 million, he is institutionalizing corruption in his political party. And the current prime minister could tell you that when I asked you to be concerned about the 40,000 people who for 8-9 years are still waiting, he could tell you it should be punished with laughter. We didn't talk this week about the water crisis of the people in the north. If it were not for the Labour Party going down in the north all year's day, writing the minister, going to the water authority, they would not have treated it with any seriousness. And even this week, in the heat of industrial action being taken by the workers, not a word from the Prime Minister of this country as to what would be done to secure the distribution of water to people who can't get pipe water in Barbados. We didn't talk about that this week. We didn't even have a thorough conversation other than the Prime Minister telling you Wednesday, fingerprinting must go ahead. And by Friday, you learned fingerprinting on the back burner. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And were it not for the Labour Party talking about the hospital, the government would have hidden from it. Dwight Sutherland speaking well, reminding you of what the cuts to the drug service did to you and to many Barbadians, and the increase in the number of strokes by almost 50% after those cuts in the drug service in 2010. Not a word on Cahill from the government. We asked for documents signed not in the personal name but in your name as ministers of this country. No documents on Cahill. No MOU from Sandals. And you could imagine wonderful athletics in my constituency at the National Stadium yesterday. Wonderful. A young girl, Shade Williams, breaks 2 records in one day. Salute her. In the 200 meters. But nobody in the Democratic Labour Party would tell you when we can get a national stadium where Bajans can sit down in again. And these were the estimates. Not a word. And the most her family will have to do is to wait to watch her at Carifta in Grenada or at Rio in the Olympics since she qualified for Rio 2. What is the attitude of this government? You can take it or you can lump it. I used to think that that song was lost in the early 90s, and if I could sing for you, I would sing, you can take it, you can lump it. None of you ain't breaking up my night rest. But since Bongo can't sing like I could do it. But that is what you get from these ministers. And what you have therefore this week was the continued amalgam of incompetence and indifference. Incompetence by itself is bad, but indifference on top of it, well, that's worse. And when you have the two combined, then you are now creating an annoyance for the people of Barbados. And too many people are becoming hopeless and frustrated. We were not expecting the government this week to give us any solutions, because they didn't give you none in 8 years. And what they give, as you heard from Santia, they had to take back the solid waste tax, the cell phone tax, the fingerprint again this week of Bajans entering their country. For us to enter the Guinness Book of World Records to be the only country to fingerprint their own citizens leaving and entering their own country. So we weren't expecting anything revolutionary or any new ideas from them. But what we were expecting is for them not to be arrogant, for them not to be contemptuous, for them not to spend their time abusing. And I want to tell you that we accept that you're going to get cursed and abused in politics. There was nobody who cursed in the Parliament of Barbados more than Errol Barrow and Tom Adams. There was nobody who cursed and attacked people more and abused them than Billy Miller and Richie Haynes, Louis Tull, Lammy Craig. But when those people cursed or attacked, they buttressed it with a vision and delivery of work in their ministry. Those men used to abuse some people that when the people get abused, they were going to walk past their own car to get abused so bad. But you knew what they were delivering in terms of their ministries. With these fellas, with this ragtag bunch of ministers, all you have is abuse and attack and blame. And policies, blunder after blunder after blunder. And you know, I say to you that there has to be a way forward. And the Barbados Labour Party will give you that way. But when you have a Minister of Finance who finds it desirable to curse banks and bank managers, when language of a Minister of Finance should be even-keeled, not intemperate, not making mock sport at people, then the country, you and me, all of us, pay a price for his behavior, because these people will not give the country the benefit of the doubt. And we know more than ever, Barbados needs leadership, Barbados needs inspiration, and Barbados needs people to stand up for it. To ask people to work with us in good faith, but it is not going to come from the abusing and the carrying on in Parliament. And I say to you, that is the ministers I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the two backbenchers. I ain't talking about poor Mara, because leave her alone. Trust me, leave her alone. She is like a 5-foot woman wading in 7-foot water and can't swim. You understand? So you leave her alone. But I want you to hold those ministers accountable. And I've come here tonight to show you that after 1 week of debate, hundreds of thousands of dollars in catering, because don't fool yourself, some of them go to Parliament just to eat and drink. It is the most solid bar in Bridgetown, if not Barbados. In fact, I must confess, I see a gold bottle this week with brandy in it. I'd never seen such a gold bottle in my 50 years. And that's what Parliament was reduced to. But you see, they were there because of a constitutional necessity. They didn't prepare. They didn't come with the files. They didn't come with the notes. And last night was the clearest example of it. Sante will tell you. Michael Lashley gets up and says, I need $21 million for the transport board. I beg to move that this head stand part and sit back down. And we had to tell him, Skip, it don't work. So, what you need the money for? Tell us. And he fumbled and he fumbled and he fumbled and he sent for the file and he couldn't get the file. And he still fumbled. Steve Blackett, same thing. But the truth is, when he said what he needed the money for, we understood why he was fumbling. Because $1 million was for one man in Transtech, and $3 million was for 120 families in UCAL, leaving $19 million owed to UCAL. And Trevor spoke to you about that tonight. But it wasn't just the incompetence and the indifference. It's the lies. It's the misleading. And I have come here tonight to share with you and to unmask for you what really must not be allowed to happen in this country again. And you see, that is why the Barbados Labour Party is getting itself ready. Because we will have the mission of our lifetime as a party of 78 years. We will. I am pleased by the fact that one of the reasons we've not been able to complete our slate of candidates is that we actually have too many people coming forward, so many people coming forward. You can imagine 5 people wanting to run in St. John. You can imagine that in almost every constituency we have 5 or 6 people. And apart from the ones who want to run, there are those who just want to help. And there are hundreds of people joining this party and offering their services. So that when I see what passes for governance and what passed for governance this week in the Parliament, I want you to listen for yourself. Because you heard me speak about the National Insurance Scheme this week. And I'm going to come back another night to the $55 million bond. But tonight is not the night for that. But you heard me tell the Parliament that I was dismayed at the fact of the National Insurance Board on the direction of the minister and carrying it to cabinet, or about to carry it to cabinet, to increase the fees of the directors from $300 a month to $900 a month. A 200% increase. I am not going to say any more because I want you to listen for yourself. And I want you to watch for yourself. Because you must now adjudge the type of people you have in Parliament representing you. Please.
But I do believe that if you are asking Barbadians to share a burden as we go through these difficult times, then it must appear as though everybody is sharing that burden. Everybody. And when stories therefore emerge that the National Insurance Board, led by the Minister of Labour, could want the Cabinet to agree to increase the fees of the directors of the National Insurance Board from $300 to $900 a month, a 200% increase in board fees, in circumstances where other Barbadians are having to literally scotch to be able to eat food, then I said this is the wrong message that we are sending our population. And this is the same minister who last week told the NUPW, oh, I judge you have no case for back pay. But then at the same time, she and her ministry
Really don't want
Yes, I remember.
Point of order. You don't remember, Mr. Speaker, sir, is, I believe, misleading the House. I'm a member of the Cabinet of Barbados as Minister of Finance, and I do not know of, or can I recall, any cabinet paper that has come to, any paper that has come to cabinet paper or otherwise, asking the Cabinet to agree to increase the fees of directors of the National Insurance from $300 to $900 or $800. And therefore, I think that if the member has evidence to that effect, that she should make the side paper a document of the House or have that matter withdrawn. because it clearly is not true. I'm saying it is not true.
Said that they had reached cabinet. Yeah, I said
Very
that
well.
is intending to come to cabinet.
Very well.
I said
Okay,
that the
continue,
Minister of Labour is intending to bring, to cabinet. And Mr. Speaker, let the Minister of Finance deny that the National Insurance Board and the Minister have been dealing with this matter. Let him deny it, because it is a fact. And the bottom line is that we will bring the evidence in here for that too.
Order, Mr.
Yes, I
Speaker,
remember.
sir. I can categorically deny that I have any knowledge of or information pertaining to any such matter between the Minister of Labour, the Honourable Minister of Labour, and the National Insurance, whether board or directorate.
No, you heard him. You heard Chris Sinclair. You have to believe a Minister of Finance, not true? We just talked about how important the Minister of Finance is and how people must be able to trust their word. We just talked about why a Minister of Finance should not use intemperate language even and curse the lady from Royal Bank that he cursed last Sunday and Monday again. So, lo and behold, the next day comes, and off of the back of a truck comes this. Let me see it, please. Let the rest see it. Take your time and let us see it. What does it say at the top? October 27th, 2015. A stamp from the Ministry of Labour, Social Security, and Human Resource Development. Do you see it? Then the next thing it says, to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labour, Social Security, and Human Resource Development. The following extract from the confirmed minutes of a meeting of the Cabinet held on October 15th, 2015 is forwarded for early action. And then you see a signature, and underneath that it says for the Cabinet Secretary. Now, Joe Atherley, you come because you are a bishop. Come and join me, please. And you have already had experience with dealing with an opponent who has not yet reflected the behavior that you would expect as a bishop him to reflect. So you come. You ain't getting in trouble. Joe, you served in a cabinet. Take your time. Take your time. Is this the form of cabinet minutes that are circulated to ministries in Barbados? No, the people can't hear you, Joe. Bishop, the people still can't hear you.
It looks that way to me.
Now, I want you to help me read what comes next. And for the benefit, zoom in for the breasts out there who want to read for themselves instead of listening to the bishop. Start from number 8.
Appointment to the National Insurance Board, note 15772/MLS D44. The Cabinet agreed that A, the Chief Parliamentary Counsel should be instructed to prepare the amendment to Section 3 of the National Insurance Act, Cap 47, to include the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry responsible for Social Security or nominee to be appointed ex officio to the National Insurance Board.
Now pause, Joe, because we're going to come back and talk another night about that too. Because the NIS board was always meant to be a tripartite board, and the government now trying to change the structure for their own reasons. Please continue.
Cabinet agreed B, the fees payable to the members of the National Insurance Board should be as follows. Chairman, $1,800 per month. Deputy Chairman, $900 per month.
Did it say 300?
$900 per month. Member, $900 per month.
Thank you, Bishop Atherley. Now you have heard the truth from the confirmed minutes read to you by a bishop. And coming, I really can't remember what Sinclair said just now. I think I need a little reminder of what Sinclair said just now. Did he agree that it was done? Did he tell you that it was done 6 months ago? Let me see again. Bring it up, bring it up. Or as a former prime minister used to say, bring it up.
$900 or $800. And therefore, I think that if the member has evidence to that effect, that she should make the side paper a document of the House, or have that matter
You're
withdrawn,
playing it over.
because it clearly is not true. I'm saying it is not true.
Said that they had reached cabinet. Yeah, I said
Very
that
well.
is intending to come to cabinet.
Very well.
I said
Okay,
that the
continue,
Minister
America.
of Labor is intending to bring to cabinet. And Mr. Speaker, let the Minister of Finance deny that the National Insurance Board and the Minister have been dealing with this matter. Let him deny it, because it is a fact. And the bottom line is,